Okay, welcome to match number 3 of the KOPC Cobra Kai Dojo Draft, featuring yours truly, the chosen one, dubbing the Red Ranger colors today, and my brother from Scotland himself, Adam, who's also dubbing the White Ranger color scheme today. How are you today, bro?
Yes, not too bad. Oh, this will be the battle of the North versus the South. Very true, very fucking true.
Technically speaking, but also, you know, me being a quarter Scottish, there's a little bit of a civil war going here. So, you know, it's crazy. It's crazy that I was drawn against you, and it's funny that I was the first name that was drawn coincidentally, and then the first person I get matched up with is you. It's just insane to me. But I'm gonna give a quick shout out to everyone in the chat: Kevin, what's up, bro? Charlie, Jermaine, Lisa, Comic Kai Brothers. Welcome, one and all. Welcome, everyone who is joining after the fact. Cody, what's up, my brother? Also, people, I can confirm Evan was successful. You, the people, decided Evan was successful against Danny. Danny constructed a great team as well, so let's give Danny some love too. But Evan came out with a dub, and he's moving into the semi-finals. And we're going to be doing the Cody versus RJ teams. So get to voting on those polls, people, because Cody's got them up right now. Let the games begin. What's up, Noah? This is going to be great. This is going to be intense. I'm interested to see what kind of teams we're both going to construct, because it's all well and good going in here with a plan and, oh, you're going to do this thing and that thing. But
I like a routine. I like a schedule. I like a plan.
I like a routine, you know. But when you go in with a plan, and then let's say the plan has to change because you picked on that I was going to go, like it's adapting and making the best of it. So just to preface, it's not necessary. Like, obviously having power in your team is important, and that's a key cornerstone, because you can have a team that has great chemistry, but if they can't fight, then you're fucked. But you do need to have chemistry as much as power. You need a balance of both. So we're going to flip a coin, Adam. We're going to flip a coin on the thing, and then it will determine who's going first.
Oh.
First of all, how are you feeling before we jump into it? How are you feeling?
I'm excited. I think I have some wild cards that if I get the chance, people are going to be quite surprised at the choices I'll make.
I know, me too. I hope we can really surprise people with this as well. And the good thing is we've discussed nothing about this to each other, so I'm actually excited to see how we adapt to this. You know, and to me, look, like I said, I would love to obviously win, sure, for bragging rights, but I mean, again, like, I get to host my own stream. Like, what do I, you know?
You get to host your own stream like you do every other week.
Host my own stream, like, well, I'm doing that anyway. I get to organize the next
right now.
Organize this
doing
one,
it live.
Like, Jesus Christ. All right, heads or tails, Adam?
Screw it, give me heads.
Let's see. Oh, tails.
Jacob gets to go first. Oh, I like it.
I've got to go first. I actually didn't expect that. I was expecting the opposite. I was expecting to go on defense. Okay, right. You see, that's the thing.
Makes sense. I'm in the white man, Miyagi, though.
Yeah, you got to go on the counter. Yeah, it got to go strike first. It can go.
You're in red and black. I'm just saying, silver's Cobra Kai. So
that is true. I also did color code the thing a little bit as well, because I wanted it to look aesthetically pleasing. So I'm just going to zoom in on that to make it look, again, aesthetically pleasing. Can you see that perfectly?
Yes, I can.
Sweet. Okay, what's up, RJ? Good chemistry wins games. And also, that's the thing. It could just be because I've led these guys, but it's like when you have chemistry that doesn't work together, you can have all the heavy hitters a live long day, but if it doesn't work and there's no synergy, then it's not going to work.
Yeah.
Your team will crumble apart faster than crunchy taco. All right, Adam, my brother from Scotland. Are you ready?
Let the games begin.
Are you ready? All right. Okay. So I didn't expect this. I was expecting to go on the counter, but I'm going to start right out the gate immediately by jumping straight in the deep end with Johnny.
Okay.
I think for me, it is a safe start, but I think Johnny is such a moldable character. You can go 50 billion directions with him: offense, defense, maturity. A lot of the characters gravitate to him. And I feel like so many characters, whether they're Cobra Kai or Miyagi-Do, Eagle Fang, or whatever the fudge, they can gravitate to Johnny, and I think there's potential there for even Korean Cobra Kai or Iron Dragon's characters to listen to Johnny. So that's my first pick.
Okay, my first pick, I'm just going to go with what I initially thought because, you know, being the avid Robbie fanboys we are, I'm going to switch it up. Give me Miguel.
Ooh, okay. You're going for Miguel. That's thrown part of my plan completely off. Talk us through that. How come you're going for Miguel first?
Well, because everybody, I know for a fact when it comes to you, like us two, they know 9 times out of 10 we're going to be fighting over Robbie. But I was like, you know what would throw a little bit of dice into the mix? Let me go for someone that, yes, I still really love Miguel, but no one would expect me to be like, he's picked Miguel first? Like, does he remember what side he's on?
Yep.
You know, so true. I was like, let's just have a bit of fun with this.
I agree, and you know what? That's thrown my plan completely off because there was a route and this is what I was saying about routes that I was gonna go that I can't now. I have to change it completely. It only makes sense to have Miguel's other half, his other, you know, his binary brother, if you will, by this point, have father and son together.
Okay.
Now, the good thing is here is Miguel and Robbie's dynamic can go either way. Yes, there's always a bit more leniency towards Miguel with certain things, and it will be interesting to see how Miguel operates opposite Johnny. But based on when Robbie's locked in and he doesn't get distracted, dude's a beast. But continue, Adam. On to your pick, sir.
Okay, so I might as well take the main man, Daniel.
Ooh!
Because we're switching it up, we're flipping the script. Instead of, we finally have it the way everybody wanted it to be, have it to begin with anyway. You know, we actually, Miguel and Daniel, since everybody seems to think that Miguel's a new version of Daniel, let's see, because they do have very good chemistry. Do they have as much as Robbie and Daniel? You could say not, but you don't know yet because we're still learning to see how close they can get, so you never know.
That's a good point. I'm liking the look of your team. It's almost like what I love here is we're really respecting the season 1 characters, but I'm about to change things up. I'm about to switch it up. I'm of the notion that a certain character is a 2-man job, but the only way to beat this character is if you have Miguel and Robbie on the same team. But since they're not, I got to go with Axel.
That's okay. I saw that coming. I saw that coming.
And I do feel like as much as Axel can be a bit of a wild card, like Johnny, he's very moldable and they're very similar. At least I feel Johnny and Axel to how they've been raised by their senseis, how they've been taught. And I feel like Axel is head and shoulders above every single of the kid characters. I feel like he's an absolute fucking tank. And, you know, with the right direction and mentor, absolutely on job, you know. And I think having him
that's fair. That's fair. But what I'll do then to even the score then is I always forget her character's name because she's badass, but give me Rena or what was her name again?
Zara,
that's it, because I was getting mixed up by another character with her. So then it's not so yeah, because one thing that people don't even think about is like she knows Axel, so then she will know his weaknesses, his strengths. So then that means she can feed it onto Miguel and Daniel, as well as, you know, she might want to take a swing at Axel for all we know. She is getting a bit annoyed at him simping so much.
That's a very good point. That is a very good point. Now, with that, I think I'm going to spice it up and have a female competitor now. The only thing, and as much as I love Robbie, we all know Robbie fanboy, I know. It was really frustrating. Every single time this man looked at Tori, he would then get distracted and not lock the fuck in. And I feel like with him on the same team as Johnny, who I feel is arguably a better sensei for Tori, and someone that the biggest missed opportunity of this show, I feel, is Tori not learning from Johnny enough, and having Johnny, Tori, Robbie, and Axel on the same page. I just love that dynamic. I think it could work. The synergy could be so fucking strong. You know, and I feel like Zara and Tori have such a blood between them that could go either way. So I'm very interested to see who you pick next, because that could go either way.
This one will be for the boys, for Cody, for Danny, for RJ. Give me Sam the Goat.
Ooh, okay. Interesting. Sam and Zara on the same team.
Mm-hmm.
Talk me through a bit about that.
So for me, right, we already know that obviously Zara's got beef with Tori, but she doesn't really have any issue with Sam. And yeah, she is a wee bit of a cocky person. But I think to me that if you put them two together, then just like how Sam and Tori are good, think about it. Zara's already shown that there's a potential that she's already better than Tori. So having both of the two best females on, that means when you get other female characters coming along, maybe even if you were losing in like the sensei like student aspect, you've got that part of the team that is going to be able to bring it back for you later on.
Oh, this is so key. I had a plan that I was going to do it, but now that's thrown me a curveball. That's a good choice, Adam. But I think I'm going to go back to Sensei because a lot of this show, for me, as soon as Chosen was brought in, Daniel has been kind of leaning on him. I feel like Chosen on the same team as Johnny with these guys up here, it's chemistry, synergy, and balance. And for the small scene that he had with Tori in season 5, he was able to tap into her quote-unquote redemption that kicked off. I love his interactions with Robbie. And I feel like if there's any one sensei who can break through the conditioning of Wolf to Axel, the same way Sato did to him, I feel like it's Chosen. I feel like Chosen gives them that sort of balance, because right now, if I'm looking at the senseis, we've got offense, which is great, but I do need some kind of defense to sort of counteract that. And I feel like Chosen, out of all the senseis down there, is the one that has the least amount of drama with any of the other characters for me. So I think,
that's true. That's true. So, this is getting hard now because I have 2 picks in mind, but I can't decide between both of them. So I'm just gonna have to think about this. You know what? To throw off Axel, right? Give me Sensei Wolf.
Oh, good choice.
Because even though I know technically speaking, he might have his issues with Daniel, right? He doesn't have as much issues with Daniel than Johnny does. So they could probably move past it if they chose to. Not only that, then it also makes Axel conflicted because now he's going to have to face his own sensei and be like, oh, no, I know this guy is a beast. Not only that, as well as I think when it comes down to it, he's also there for Zara as well. So he can be sitting there coaching her as well. And as I said, he also knows Axel, so they will know all his weaknesses.
That's a very good shout. That's a very good shout. Now I'm conflicted because I'm torn between a sensei and a student, and I'm looking at this and I'm thinking about the senseis you have. I've got Johnny and Chosen, and for me, you've got Johnny opposite Daniel and Chosen opposite Wolf. So I feel like that can balance out. I'm going to go with the synergy of one of my favorite characters in the whole show that gives the dynamic such a strength. And I love, it may be because RJ's in the chat, but I love the Robbie and Kenny dynamic. And as much as I love Hawk, I was going to go with him. I feel like Kenny learning from Johnny straight and Chosen. I feel like I've got like a Power Ranger squad here. You've got like every utility covered. And I feel like Kenny having his speed on the team, it's going to add just such a different flavor for me. And I feel like given time, not only will the synergy between Robbie and Kenny grow, but I feel like the levels that Kenny will get to will be beyond Hawk, in my opinion. And I feel like he'll be just underneath Miguel and Robbie. I feel like he's destined for absolute greatness. And I feel like the key for my team, and I wasn't, just to preface everyone watching, I wasn't actually going to do this, but keeping Robbie locked in is my key to winning. I've got all of his distractions on this team now. If you had any of these guys, it would be wraps. So I really love the fact that these guys are together.
So for my next pick, I'm struggling between 2 at the moment, but I think to combat the duo, I'm going to have to take Hawk, because Miguel and Hawk's chemistry, and from season 1, that brotherhood is the only other thing that can face Robbie and Kenny at the minute.
I agree. That's a very good shout. I'll give you that. That's a damn good shout. That's a damn good shout. When Hawk isn't held back by ridiculous plot bullshit, he's honestly one of the best fighters in the show, but he's used as such
He's the only other cast member that was said that he was on the same level as Robbie and Miguel. No one else has got that honor. Not even Sam, which I think is a bit of disservice to Sam. I'll put that in there for RJ, but you know, he has been put in the top 3, so
I agree. I think now, to balance things a little bit more, because you've added a little bit more aggression into your side now, and a lot of my dojo is based on balance. Well, actually, no, it's mostly Robbie and Chosen that are balanced. There's a lot of aggression in both teams. I want someone that really spices it up a little bit, and someone that saw Kenny's potential from the minute he saw him in the Battle Royale. I'm going to pick Mike Barnes. Because I feel like whatever Sensei Wolf can teach Axel, I feel like Mike Barnes is of a similar vein, maybe not the same way, and maybe a bit more hot-headed, but I feel like Mike could definitely bring out the best in Kenny. And I feel like Robbie learning from all of Daniel's villains, and then Daniel's villains teaching his main student could really throw him for a spell. So could be interesting to sort of spice it up a little bit.
So going off of that logic, right? Since I know that he's going to be helping Kenny, I need something to throw Kenny off. So give me Sean.
Oh, good shout.
Because, he might be getting all the life lessons, but could he really go all in on his brother? And we also know that Sean, he might not be trained in karate, but the dude can take on Miguel and Robbie. Yeah, he does lose, but he's got that in him.
Where he lacks in skills, he is a brute. And having him opposite his brother will be interesting. That could be something that Kenny could struggle with, given that Kenny really looks to Sean as well. So it'd be a test of like him looking to Robbie versus Sean. That's a very good pick. And then Sean with someone like Wolf, that could be very interesting. I'm going to go with a dark horse character. Now, this character is second place in his dojo only to Quan, but that's a good bar for me. And I feel like he's got no drama with the other characters. And I feel like he could take Hawk with absolute suave. And that's Yoon. I feel like Yoon is such a dark horse character that for me personally, I feel like giving a level of balance but offense and no nonsense BS, I feel like Yoon could really add something to the team. And I feel like Yoon, learning from Mike and Chosen specifically, would be pretty powerful.
So either I can do something to stop you from getting another duel, but if I do that, I could miss out on my duel, which that means it's a 3-way duel. So I have to take the binary brother Dimitri. I have to, because otherwise, then if he's gone, then you know.
Yeah. I get that. I totally understand that. It's one of the things where you're backed into a corner where like the synergy between Dimitri and Hawk can pay off very well. So no, I completely back that. I think now that I've got Yoon, and I love the rapport that Chosen and Sensei Kim have. And I feel like Sensei Kim has proven herself this season to be a very competent, balanced fighter when she's focused. And her ruthlessness and her determination combined with Chosen, I think could be an absolute deadly teaching to bestow upon any student. Now, I was tossing between her and another, but I didn't pick that one because they're too much of a maverick for me. They'll just throw my team stability right off.
Okay. Right. See, now it's hard because now I'm trying to think of the chemistry of the last, like the characters left, because, you know, this is hard now. It's getting
tough. RJ and Cody and Danny and Evan suffered the same thing. Is as you go down the roster, it gets harder because you start getting to, like, we've got so many heavy hitters down there, but like I said, people in the chat, it's not just about power. Do they work together? Like, there's characters in that are available that I haven't added in because they'll throw off the dynamic of the team, you know?
Right. See, I'm going to do a wild card move right now, but I'm going to explain my reasoning, right? Give me Quan.
Take Quan. Rich, show me Quan.
The reasoning for taking Quan is, could you imagine a team up between Sean and Quan? The dominance of those two alone could take out half a dojo. So that's what I'm thinking. It's more that they would team up together more than they would team up with other people in the group. So for me, Quan and Sean are the brutes that get it done. Like if it comes down to, say for instance, it's got Robbie or like Axel, Quan and Sean are coming in to try to take it.
That's a
they
good
might not get it, but for me, it also splits up another team synergy that you can have. So it kind of works both ways.
They're very antagonizing. That's very fair. That's very fair. I think what I'm going to do now, I'm torn between two choices. Since you've gone for Quan and Sean, who are quite antagonizing and whatever else, I think the level of growth that this character has had has been strong enough for me to put him in there. Now, I'll explain why. Kyler is a douche, okay? There's no two ways about it. And he's not the strongest fighter amongst the bunch. But I feel like the show has done him a disservice for most of the show because his grappling maneuvers are second to none. When he grapples you into a hold, like it's done. And I feel like because you've got the binary brothers, Kyler is my counter to that because he can antagonize them and get in Hawk's head the same way he did in season 4. And I love the growth that he had. And to go opposite against Miguel, the guy that he started out bullying, I think could add a different flavor there. So that's my wild card pick. That's my wild card. I'm going on instinct with that.
So the next one I'm going to choose. Oh, this is getting difficult, but there is a reasoning for this. I'm choosing Kreese of all people. So yes, we all know he kicks a table and falls over, but he is the one to keep Quan in his place. So, for example, if he's starting to not have the team synergy, Kreese will be like, remember that your friend, the enemy of your friend is you know the quote, right? I can't be bothered saying it.
Yeah, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Yeah,
exactly. So he's going to make sure Quan sticks to his game, make sure that he doesn't go too overboard and try to take on everybody in his own dojo.
I get you. I totally hear you. See, now you've done that. I was going to go with a different pick. Now I have to change it up. Now I'm backed into a corner, but I can't let you have this character. So we're talking about synergy and whatever else. There's a lot of bad blood with this character. There is so much bad blood. But I feel like because the other team has such a, like your team especially, both of our teams even, there's a lot of divide on that team as well in terms of allegiances of characters working together who shouldn't be. There's so much divide already. There's one character who absolutely would thrive in this chaos. I'm going with Silver.
Okay.
Now, I know right now, based on the actual show, he would work with basically none of my top row. But I think because of the team that I'm being opposite, someone like Wolf, someone like Zara, people who Silver has paid, he's paid for that dojo. So Silver could very much just as easily pay for other fighters to come on in, or he could go and do some fuckery behind the scenes that would disrupt a lot of these people. And I feel like Silver has such a way of mind games and getting in people's heads that he would definitely do things that could throw people like Hawk or Quan completely off balance. But it's a wild card. I don't know how much that will do for chemistry, but it's mostly a statement one, that one.
So for me, right. So everybody knows I won't touch CB's head with a 10-foot pole. So it's basically everybody else at this point. So this is a hard decision because if I choose one, that because of the recent season, it will be like, oh, but this just happened, so then the synergy wouldn't be there. But at the same time, I can't take old man Yoda either, so give me Chris.
Are you taking Chris?
Yes, because as much as he is a background character, he has been shown on many occasions to throw hands.
Chris is a loyal soldier. Chris is a loyal soldier. And you know what? Speaking of loyal soldiers, I feel like Johnny thrives when he has his little personal assistant.
Okay.
I feel like Devon, as much as her fighting leaves a lot to be desired because she's still growing and whatever, her and Penny have a dynamic together. Her and Tori have a dynamic together. Her and Johnny is very much setting up what Johnny's relationship will be like with his daughter. And I feel like with Sensei Kim as well, she learns so much from Sensei Kim, and Devon was ruthless. So the fact that you've got two females now and I've got two females, I feel like that could balance out. You arguably have more power in there for sure. but I do feel like Devon works better when she's under Johnny's tutelage, and they just speak the same language. So out of the ones we've got left, that's my pick.
Yeah. So basing off what we've got left, right? I'll have to explain it better than anything, but I'm gonna have to go with our main man, Dennis.
Oh.
Because one, he's been shown, obviously Daniel won, but he's been shown to be a formidable foe for Daniel, especially within the last season. Not only that, he does have a rapport. He does have rapport with other people. He might be a bit of a wild card here, where it might make my team a bit hingy. But I'm sorry, as much as I would love to take Master Kim, I'm sorry, he's not Yoda. He's not jumping off walls. If anything, he's slapping you with a stick and then walking away. So I can't really take that character serious. So it was either between those two, because the rest, like I like Anthony and Bert and stuff, and we'll find out what will be chose. But at the minute, for me, my logical reasoning behind this is that, well, I just think that this team overall might have a lot of team synergies, because it's got family synergies with like with like Daniel and Sam, but at the same time it's got the triple threat of Miguel, Hawk, and Dimitri. Then you've got the two like tank enforcers, which is obviously Sean and Quan.
That's a good shout.
And then you've got Kreese to rein in Quan in case he steps out of limb, because everybody knows that Kreese just cares about winning, especially with Terry Silver on that team. He's pulling out all the blades, he's pulling out everything to get that.
He's pulling out all the stuff,
yeah. So then Chris is just a loyal soldier that,
he's just a loyal soldier. He's just a nice guy.
If he was to take on anyone here, it'd most likely be Devon. Like, and it depends on really like who's feeling it that day. Because the thing with these characters as well that people need to remember is that they're very up and down power scale. Like,
they are. Like the
1 minute can be terrible, and next minute he's the god.
And I'll say it again: Cobra Kai is not a video game, people. It's like the same thing I say with Star Wars. Just because a person wins a fight, it's not. The reason why good guys and bad guys win is dictated on balance. That's the main reason. And that is influencing my next pick. Now, I've been saving this character until now, but it makes sense because I've got Silver on the team. You've got Daniel. And as much as I love Daniel LaRusso, right now he's in a very fragile state. If I take his son, which is exactly what, you took the man's son. If I take Anthony and put him in my team, his fighting isn't as good. But Anthony can be used as a pawn against Daniel and Sam. Yeah. And I feel like Sam wouldn't want to hurt her brother, and Daniel would really struggle to fight against him.
Okay.
So I'm doing a little tactical mind game here. And also I've got now Kenny, Anthony, and
Devon.
So I've got the next regens of characters, basically.
Okay, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. So, well, since you do have that, I'm going to level the playing field. You know what? I was joking about it, but it's the only logical pick. Give me Master Kim.
Fair. I understand it. I get it. There's not much to choose from at this final point here. But what I will say is that puts me into a corner. And you guys know, everyone watching knows how we both feel about Mitch. Neither of us fucking like him.
No.
And for me, Bert has displayed way more fighting class than Mitch ever has.
Take him.
He's a loyal soldier, and I think he's loyal to Johnny. He's a sacrificial lamb. Like, for me, I would sacrifice Bert against, let's say, if Dimitri was there, so then I could beat Dimitri. Like, it's
okay. It's okay. If I take Mitch, it's fine. He can just be lamb for slaughter. He's like number one. I send him in, get him beat to get him out of there, and then get the rest of the team in there.
Yeah, I agree. I saw the little prick is good for lol. But he really hates Anthony. Fun. But
actually, to be fair, you could also argue something, right?
Yeah.
As much as I know you won't like to agree to it, we forget one thing though. Mitch, technically speaking, could be better than Anthony because Anthony still hasn't learned a lot.
Oh, yeah. No, he could be better than Anthony.
It's very 50-50 between those two.
Luckily, I've got my boy Kyler that could rinse him out in 3 seconds and make him a bitch. Like, I think what's great here with these teams is I think Miguel, where your team is strongest, at least for me, I think is having Miguel, Sam, and Daniel together, and the Binary Brothers, like having that OG, that OG level of connection and chemistry. But I feel like what's happened here is we've gone of like Miyagi, like OG Cobra Kai, taking like half Cobra Kai, half Miyagi-Do, half Cobra Kai, half Miyagi-Do.
And see, the thing that I think we've done is that we've thought about it strategically, but because obviously when somebody chooses another pick, we're like, okay, right, so who's the logical next best that would work with this character? Who's going to work with this character? So it's became a good mismatch. Like, I think they're fairly balanced teams between like defense and aggression.
Yeah, I think if you're looking at power, I'd say we're pretty even.
Yeah,
I think power is pretty even. Chemistry too. I think this is just going to come down to weighing up who's going to win in what scenario, kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. The only reason, like, I was going to pick Quan earlier on, but the only reason I didn't is, and I've said this a lot, I love Quan to pieces. He's cool. Brandon Lee's amazing. But Quan is the definition of a noob playing Street Fighter that finds one maneuver and spams the button. He does the same spinning kick every 5 seconds. The dude's mentally unstable. Fucking psycho trying to stab someone at a karate tournament. You know,
well, to be fair, you do have Silver, who is all about chaos. So I have to have an all about chaos.
That is true. That's where the balance, I guess, comes in from there. And I think I really wanted to pick Yoon as well, because Yoon is such a lethal character that goes so under the radar because he's not in the spotlight as much. But he has no drama with people, and I feel like he can be that utility player that could take care of Sean and Dimitri, in my opinion. Sean and Dimitri against Yoon, he clears them both. So but the thing is that could catch me out is I've got Anthony, but you do have Daniel and Sam. So it depends on the headspace Anthony's in. You know, that there's so many factors at play there. The key for you is separating Daniel and Johnny. So that's definitely going to pay dividends. And will Chosen show full solidarity to Johnny if Daniel's on the opposite side?
Exactly. And then also, like, we also know that at the current moment that Robbie and his dad have a good relationship. Who says it's going to stay that way? We don't know.
Yeah, that is true.
And then that synergy goes away. Like, don't get me wrong, the whole scenes in season 5 are badass. Don't get me wrong, of course. But logically speaking, to me, the reason why I've done it the way I have is because, one, I didn't want to be predictable, because I didn't want us both fighting over the same characters.
I'll be real with you, bro. I wasn't even going to pick Robbie. You threw me right off. Like, I wasn't going to pick Robbie.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I came in being like, right, everybody's going to expect me and you to fight over Robbie. So I was like, you know what?
Truth be told, Axel, I'll say this on air because I don't mind. Axel was going to be my first pick. But because you picked Miguel, I basically had no choice, because it's like the gamble that I play is that Axel is a 2-man job and he can only be beaten if you have Miguel and Robbie. But I have Robbie who clears Quan. So it's like, if I didn't do that, like, then I'm screwed, because it's like you can have them fight over, like, we know what's going to happen in the show. Robbie's going to fight in the semis. Miguel's going to have the final. Like, he's a 2-match scenario.
Yeah.
But where you can catch me out is if Zara gets in Tori's head, that could open that can of worms.
Yeah,
but luckily,
and then I've also got Axel Sensei that, you know, as we've seen in part 2, he's not very the nicest guy. So he's going to have emotional damage when he sees his sensei. The sensei is going to know his weaknesses. So then he's like, he's out.
I think you picking Wolf is the reason I picked Mike, because I was like, I need someone that's like that, and someone that's just no fucks given. And
that's one thing that I would like to see, because yes, Barnes is the bad boy of karate, but is he better than Sensei Wolf? Because we've still not seen that yet. Because technically speaking, Daniel bet, obviously, Sean Kanan, you know, fucking, I said the name and it loses my brain, I swear to God. But Mike Barnes, right? So we know that Daniel can beat Mike Barnes. So logically speaking, that means Wolf should be able to beat him too.
Yeah. But we're also in a show where Miguel should technically beat Robbie more, but Robbie then beats him, and then Kenny beat Hawk. So it's like, I think it's always whatever the plot needs it to be. So it could go either way, but that's a very good point to bring up. I think for me, I would have picked Quan if you didn't, because then him under Sensei Kim next to Yoon, I liked Yoon and Kwon's kind of dynamic. Yeah. I just feel like what was turning me off of picking Kwon is the minute Robbie locks in, he clears him in seconds. Like, he made him his bitch.
No, that is true. That is true. But that is also
Kwon against all the others is raps.
Yeah. See, this is the thing. If we go by what the show does, it's only if Robbie was, say for instance, if Kwon is in the first few fights, then you have to bet on Robbie getting to Kwon first before he fights someone like Miguel and things where they're more evenly matched, where he could then lose out to it.
That is true.
Before he even gets to Kwon. So then Kwon is able to, well, other than Miguel, like, he can take on everybody else. But I don't need to worry about that because Miguel's in my team.
Exactly. That's a good point. I think Tristan gets my point too. Is it's like, I feel like with Robbie and Axel, the reason I've gone with those two is they made Kwon look like light work. So then if you've got the both of them, Robbie, who already cleared, as soon as Robbie locked in, Miguel blew a 2-0 lead, and then Axel tossed him around like a toy. Like, it's you know. And then Kenny, for me at this moment in time, is above Hawk. And as much as I really don't like saying that, in my opinion, they should be on the same level, but the show keeps doing bullshit to Hawk. I think these two teams are really bad. Like, I'm very fascinated to see what people are going to say and what people are going to decide as their teams. Like, this could go either way. There's a lot of good potential in both teams here. And I think what's good about it is I've gone for, like, balance, but you've got more of, like, synergized duos. So you've got, like, you know, the connection between Miguel and Daniel that was growing. You've got Hawk and Dimitri.
The way I done this is like the Dragon Ball games, where it's like you've got like Piccolo over here, Gohan here, Goku here. But I just done it with the Cobra Kai character, so I'm like, right. So we've got Miguel and Daniel, great chemistry. Then Daniel and Sam, and then you've got Miguel, the triple threat with the Binary Brothers. And then when it comes to, you know, the Iron Dragons, I have the Sensei and arguably the best female fighter other than Tori and Sam at the minute. So I've got the best two female fighters, because depending on what way the story goes, you know, it depends on who's going to win. You know, ultimately one side's going to win eventually at the end, but you know. But then when it comes to Sean as well, that's a way to throw off Kenny, which and he's also got synergy. Like he does have a rapport with.
I also just love the fact that I've got all of Daniel's villains and his son on my team. Like, I've got like all of Daniel's villains that have tormented him for 30 years, and I've got Silver, the biggest antagonizing guy there is. Yeah, with his son. If I throw Daniel off balance, then that's game over. Like, it's
I can see what you're saying.
For the senseis, at least. Like, Mr. Kreese is too, you know, he got Kwon killed by bringing that Unjang Do, you know. So
see, one thing that I would think, right, is even though he could be thrown off, the one thing that could save it, right, is that, and it would be a cool thing to see. I know it will never happen in the show, but it would be a cool thing to see nonetheless, is that they're trying to throw Daniel off, but Kreese, of all people, is the one fucking protecting him from being thrown off. He's sitting there like, nah, Daniel, like, I know we've had our issues, but like, we're beating them.
Yeah, no, that's very true.
And also, you've got Master Kim there, who's going to, like, as much as I didn't want to choose him, let's be real.
Yeah, me neither. I didn't want to choose him. The only reason I didn't pick him and I picked that is because I wanted to play the mind game with Anthony. I didn't want Master Kim because his energy, like, other than Silver, it isn't going to work for like 70 to 80% of my team. It's going to throw them off completely, like answering to some decrepit Dumbledore looking mofo with a stick. You know, But, also, you know, hey.
We're thinking about techniques and stuff as well, as like Garrett pointed at the comment section, which was a really good point. Yes, Silver and Kenny do have the silver bullet technique, but there's one main thing that everybody's forgetting. There's also still the Miyagi-Do scroll that we still don't know that technique, but that also Daniel also does know the technique that Chosen gave him, which obviously immobilates their opponent, so he could use that against the silver bullet.
Very true. That is very true. The thing that we both have, though, is plot. You got the plot for the main student, Miguel, and I got the plot for the lead, Johnny. So the plot armor could be strong either way. I feel like with where we're at in the show at this point in time, I feel like Tori's way above Sam. I feel like Sam doesn't care about the fighting. She'll just drop out. She won't want to fight against her brother because they've given her literally next to no motivation whatsoever because of the friendship she had with Tori. I feel like Silver and Kenny have such a strong dynamic together. And then, Mike being the hired gun that he is will extract that out of Kenny tenfold.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like when it comes to his brother, Mike could easily tell him just to handle that. And I think, having Chosen around to be the centerpiece and balance everyone, like if this was a version of Silver that was season 4 and just completely nuanced, but if we're going off of season 6, trying to reel him in is going to be crazy, and it's going to be the one draw of my team.
Mm-hmm.
But he's the power play. He's the one that's going to play all the games. That's going to fuck with your team completely.
That's true. That's true. But also, I don't see like Sensei Wolf being a person that plays games. He's very much like stop your game. I'll just knock your ass out. So that's what I'm saying. Like Sensei Wolf can take on Daniel and Johnny, and it's been shown multiple times, time and time again. Silver gets his ass handed to him by them. So,
oh yeah, but I feel like with Chosen, he can clear all of them, and I feel like having Chosen and Silver together, and then Johnny alongside, it's a wrap.
See, it's one of these things. It's like we don't know the full potential of Chosen because we get to see glimpses of it. We get to see this awesome stuff. But then they take him back and make him more of a comedic character. So that's where I'm like, oh, okay, I could see him being potentially the only one to give Sensei Wolf a run for his money. But at the same time, would he really, but like as we talked about, would he really want to do that to his allegiance to Daniel? Because then he's going to feel like he's betrayed his best friend who's gave him a home.
That's the thing. I mean, hey, you got Arseface and Douchebag on the same team. You got Rocksteady and Bebop.
Oh wait, I forgot. They actually have chemistry together as well, which is funny.
They do, but
but like their chemistry level is like a level 2 at max. Like they don't do much.
Nah, it's Ruids more than anything. Like if I was to, if I could try and organize this into your heavy hitters and let's leave it as it is. It would get confusing. But yeah, like those are the teams, guys. Those are the teams. Team 1 is my team. Team 2 is Adam's team. If you want to vote, our boy Strike First Media, Cody, will be putting the polls up on his Instagram story, his community tab, and on Twitter. So make sure, like, as you guys have seen it, you get the privilege of, seeing it all play out live. But always remember, don't vote for your favorite person, whoever that is. Like, don't vote for us. Don't vote for your favorite characters. Don't vote for who's the most powerful. Vote for what team you think is the strongest out of the two in a 6 out of 10 scenario. Like 6 out of 10 times they would come out with the win. 6 out of 10. So be as fair as possible. Cody will post those polls on his social medias very soon. Currently, the polls are up between RJ and Cody. It's 50-50 on 2 of them. Really close, really neck and neck. So if you haven't voted, go and do that. We know that Evan is into the semifinals now. By tomorrow, we'll all learn if RJ or Cody made it, or if me and Adam make it into the semis. And then we've got Gian and Kevin soon, and Darius and Noah that are next up. And then it will be the semifinalists. So revel in all of the glory, guys. The KOPC draft is only just beginning. This is only the elimination rounds, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be great. It's really going to be great. Everyone give a massive toast to my boy, the White Ranger, for coming on stream. And, if I have to keep it completely, a buck here, we've joked about Power Rangers in space quite a lot, like you're Andros and I'm Zane, so, I mean, we switched colors because, Andros is red and Zane's like, what, gold, silver?
Silver,
yeah, but we silver, lol. But we, got the synergy going. And speaking of synergies, got love for my Scottish brother here, regardless what happens, sir. Put it there, sir. GG, yeah. Good game. Good game.
Oh yeah, and also in the spirit of Christmas, the Grinch.
In the spirit of Christmas, the Grinch. Get those Christmas movies up, team. Get those Christmas movies. Oh yeah, Kevin, it's your time to shine tomorrow. Kevin, if you.
Oh my God! Wait a minute. It's the Battle of the Flashes, the Reverse Flash and Flash.
No, that's what I'm saying about the draw. It's too perfect. It's like I didn't rig it, I swear. It's literally the Scots boys, the matchup of the century in Danny and Evan. You got RJ and Cody, the Peter Miles podcast, going at it. You got freaking Kevin and Gian, the Flash boys, and then you got Darryl, the film students. Like it's insane. Like it's bless you. It's insane. It's just incredible. But guys and girls, leave some love in the comment section down below. I hope you enjoyed watching this elimination round. The poll for these teams will be up very, very soon on Cody's links. But really appreciate you guys. You look after yourselves. And yeah, the games are only just beginning. Everyone give Adam a massive toast. And if you haven't subscribed to his channel, then make sure you do so. And then also, I've been the chosen one. Much love to all of you. Let's play a nice little clip to end. Where's a good clip? There's only one clip to play. Everyone plays the get out memes. Let me play the where is it?
Look, if you're so worried about this son of a bitch, why don't we go down there and kick